Alright, let's see if this thing is working. The stream's going. Let me refresh this over here. Noink. Is this working? I see something happening there. That's promising. Still nothing's happening over here. Come on. There we go. I think we're going. Checking the audio. This seems alright here. Yep, this seems fine. I should monitor to make sure the sound levels are alright. I'm sure they're fine. Testing, 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 testing. Maybe they are a little low. I guess they're okay. It looks like we have good peak levels. Hey, so what's up? This is Dave. It's Monday. This is What's Up, Dave. I have a little bit of reverb on this thing that sounds a little bit ridiculous, so drop that down a bit. This is What's Up, Dave, my daily stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet. And this is also partially an extension of the co-working room, the so-called DS Cafe virtual co-working space, where I hang out with a bunch of people who are trying to get stuff done. Although they seem to be a lot better at getting stuff done than I am these days. But I am going to try to live up to the vibe of the room this week and get some important stuff done. Specifically this week, what I'm working on is a finished software spec, or at least a dev plan for moving forward for the next couple of months, to develop a bunch of features for essentially a data input system for visualization, using some existing visualization tools. There will be a core visualizer that will show these. They're called network graphs, with a force-directed graph, in which you can move nodes around. You can kind of see the relative influence on each other. And also, it will be able to export to a number of other tools, notably something called Google Fusion Tables, which I've never heard of until 2 weeks ago. And another piece of desktop software called Gephi. So I guess people who are doing what's called the digital humanities are using these tools to visualize connections and to take a lot of data that they collect from a text or a series of texts and note who's in it, what are they talking about, what places they've been going, and then just mentoring in who's connected to what, who's talking to who's talking back to who. And then when you visualize it as a network graph with this, you can actually start to see these patterns. And this is really interesting to me because I love digging through patterns and finding out what's going on in them. But anyway, I'm kind of excited by that. But let's see, what do we have going on for show and tell? I'm going to try to make these videos much more quick. Keep them under 15 minutes, just so these are, so they're like just a really quick check-in that people have time to do. They'll front load it with as much things that are interesting, I suppose. One interesting thing that I'll go over in some brief detail is I finished my Groundhog Day resolutions on Friday, which was the 2nd. It was the 2nd? Yeah, it was the 2nd. So I have set up the Groundhog Day resolutions page for 2018, which you can find if you go to davidsay.com challenge GHDR. I guess I'll post this in the chat if I can learn how to copy and paste. Big boy now, right? So this is like the challenge page, and you'll find the links to all the different things, so all the different elements. So my posts are on this tab over here. I start with the summaries of 2016, 2017, if people are interested in that. And the kickoff post is here. I'm also doing, trying to find people who are also doing Groundhog Day resolutions for 2018. And so Jess Chandler, who's from the chat room, has done it. I'm trying to find other people who are doing it this year. The popularity of it maybe have dropped off, maybe because no one is paying attention to what I'm doing anymore, which is kind of a relief. But if you're not familiar with what Groundhog Day resolutions are, they are essentially a very simple system for remembering when to set your resolutions and when to review them. So I set my resolutions on February 2nd, Groundhog Day. And I do a follow-up on the so-called doublet dates. I don't know what the real term is for them, but 3/3, March 3rd, 4/4, April 4, 5/5, May 5th, and so on until 12/12, December 12th. So part of making any kind of habit change is to have a periodic review. And then remembering that you're supposed to do the review on a particular day is hard for me. Like, I can never remember first week of February or all that kind of stuff. But I can remember like, oh well, look, today is March 3/3, March 3rd. Oh, this is the day I should be reviewing my progress on my goals, and that's really all it is. Everyone has a different approach to their goals. Mine is highly complex and subjective. Other people probably have much simpler ways of looking at it, but you can check out my post by coming to this page and seeing what I'm up to. It was quite involved. Took about 20 hours to do total. I still have some work to do, but one of the major things to do for this round, now that I'm kind of soft starting, is I have a one of the productivity systems I've been working on, which I've mentioned in the past, is the taskless, timeless, gathering style productivity model. And this is becoming clear in my head, and I added it to this third tab, the accrual combobulator. There's two logs. One is the accrual log, in which every day I want to post something that I've made that seems finished or can be used in something else to finish that. The combobulator log, which I haven't really added here yet, that's taking what's in this accrual log, the things that I've done that have some good qualities about it. That's a terrible angle of my face, I just noticed. Let's look down there. Is taking this stuff in the accrual log, which is really for my own use, and turning it into something that other people can use, like finishing, writing some documentation for it, packaging it in some way. And this is the model of productivity I'm following. Try to put something in the bucket every day, the accrual bucket, and then look in the bucket every once in a while and see if we have enough stuff to make something that we can share with the greater world. A lot of the stuff in the accrual bucket may not be ready for use because there's no clear indication. It's only clear to me what it's good for. But turning those into actionable process or deployable product, or something that can be experienced that solves a specific problem. That's the idea of the combobulator. And the combobulator name comes from the discombobulator, or it's a vague Calvin and Hobbes reference. So that's what that's about. And moving on from this, let's see, there's a few things in the topics. Some gifts. This will be a nice segue. So my birthday was last December, and I usually go and have dinner with my friend Alan, who I've known since 94, 95 now. We used to work at a startup game company together, and he always spoils me with presents. He's much more successful than I am now, so he can afford to get me weird stuff. For example, this. Johnny Walker Black, the director, Scott, Blade Runner 2049. And I guess these are hard to get or they're expensive. Apparently this movie was a bomb too, so I'm not sure if he got a good deal on this, but I'm sure like he doesn't skimp on this kind of stuff. And have I had Johnny Walker Black before? So this is kind of an experience I'm looking forward to. I guess I'll just drink it. The box, I guess, is the exciting part. So I can add this to my whiskey collection. This is the first non-Scotch that I have. So I'm excited by that. And I'm sure some of my friends will enjoy sampling that. The other thing he got me, which is something that he and his daughter Mia like, is like apparently Mia loves Sam & Max now. And so one of my presents was this DVD-ROM game for the PC, The Devil's Playhouse. Oops. And it comes with some collectible pins in it, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to pin those and wear them on everything. It's part of my goal to become more, to show more of my happy, geeky side, instead of like hiding behind a stern demeanor all the time. I want to lighten that up. It comes with a poster, too, which I have not actually had a good look at. Oh, what is this? It's a poster for the game. It looks like it's double-sided. I don't even know who Sam & Max is. I will about to show you something from my own collection. Sam & Max is a comic that was made by an American cartoonist named Steve Purcell. And he was somewhat in the underground comic scene, doing zines and stuff. The original characters of Sam & Max. Sam is the dog. He's a kind of a Humphrey Bogart-ish detective dog. These guys are freelance police. Max is his Lego Morph Bunny friend, who is sort of unhinged. The interesting thing about Sam Max at that time is these came out in the 80s. And this is well before the golden age of animation here in the U.S. When they started making interesting comics on TV. This is the first comic book I ever bought, which when I saw it in college. I was at the WPI student store, and this is the first time I've been back in the United States since leaving to go to Taiwan. And I came back, and I was kind of culture shocked. I didn't realize it at the time, and I was looking just through everything because I hadn't seen them before. And I saw this in their comic book thing, and I looked and I started looking through it, and it was demented and funny. And not knowing at the time that this was a limited edition thing that had come out, I just bought this for whatever it was, $4.95 this was. And apparently this is super rare now. Not a lot of people have this. And this is the first Sam & Max comic that I got. I took some pictures with the show, Alan, because he had just heard that there was this color collection. And he was like, I was trying to find it. It's, I guess... I was pretty pleased about that. And then his daughter Mia apparently found his comic book collection. There was a reprint of it just in black and white. And apparently she loved it. And so she cracks up over things like Weasel on a Stick. And so she made me one, Weasel on a Stick. Weasel on a Stick. So that's a Sam & Max reference, and no one's going to understand it unless you love Sam & Max. But I do. On the downside of that, apparently Alan's house was filled with like the plague that's been going around, the bad flu, and I'm starting to feel a little bit of it. So that was Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It should be flu. If it's going to be bad, I'm going to know tomorrow or the end of the day if it's going to be awful. I feel the coughing starting again. It's going to be a different kind of cough that I had like before. But we'll see. See about that. Is there anything else to look at? I could talk about the auto. So there's this, so you can see this thing in behind me. They had Sumo Lounge, which I had written a review on their large Sumo Sway couple beanbag chair, like back in 2009 or 2007, something like that. Their anniversary is coming up, and they make these really awesome beanbag chairs. So I asked them to send me the smallest one, which was like an ottoman, which is this one back here. And I was hoping it would be more firm. This is, I think, for kids. And kids weigh, 50 pounds or something like that? I weigh like 10 times that or whatever. And so when I sit on this is not going to be very attractive. I apologize ahead of time. I pretty much sink all the way to the ground. But you know what? This isn't so bad. In fact, the issue that I had before with the larger beanbag chair was that it was hard to get out of. It was super comfortable, but getting out of it involved a lot more willpower and core strength than I possess right now. This might turn into the cat bed. I have spotted him sitting on top of it, so he seems to like it. So now I'm in the... Now I need to somehow get off this thing. Cat, can you give me a hand? He gives me a... so to roll out of it. Oh, I'm sorry. You had to all see my butt. Speaking of which, I need to get back into the gym habit this year. I think that's what we're talking about. I touched on most of the things that are going on. We're at the 13.5-minute mark. So I'm going to get going to the design work now. And see how that goes. I might live stream that. I'm going to be making a lot of technical decisions. And it might be fun for virtual co-working for people to have some background noise in the background. And we'll see how that goes. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a good Monday. If you're doing Groundhog Day resolutions, let me know. I'll link it to it in my page, and I will see you later.